Hi, Brad Stevens, State Rep here. In lieu of our kids fair that we usually do, due to all the COVID and all those crazy things that are going on in our world today, we are bringing part of that kids fair to you. We've got a reptile show that we're going to be doing here with the Traveling World of Reptiles. And we have Brendan and Meg here from the Traveling World of Reptiles, and our Sandwich Kings, Jimmy John's over here. Jimmy and John are going to help out and touch these things because I'm sort of afraid. But with that, I'm going to turn it over to Brendan and let him run this show, and I'll just be a pretty face. So thank you all for joining us.
Awesome. Definitely we need a pretty face like yours. Yeah. So here's how we're going to kind of start this off. We're going to start off with some non-reptiles. I know this is the Traveling World of Reptiles and everything, but we do bring some other creepy crawlies with us. First ones we're going to be bringing out are what's known as amphibians. Amphibians are animals that come from tadpoles, so most people when they think of these animals, they think of things like frogs. But there's also things like toads, salamanders, newts, and some really weird looking ones called Sicilians. Not like the Italian people, but Sicilians are a kind of worm-like amphibian with tiny little feet on them. Now, I did not bring a Sicilian, a newt, a toad, or a salamander. Instead, I actually brought with me 2 tree frogs. These are what's known as dumpy tree frogs or White's tree frogs. Now they're not white. The reason they're called White's tree frogs is because the scientist that they were named after was named Dr. White. Now, these 2 are named Hoagie and Lucy. Hoagie's our boy who's right here, and Lucy is our girl right here. The way that I kind of tell them apart is that Hoagie has much smaller eyes than Lucy. Besides that though, there's not really much of a good way to tell them apart. I need my helpers to come on up. So here's what we're gonna do. I want you to stand looking towards the camera, both of you. Stand nice and close. Right here, there we go. Very nice. Nice little tree.
Hope it doesn't poop.
Don't worry, they pooped on the last guy we put them on. I'm kidding. So, they like to be up in this, you can put your hands down. It's like Ricky Bobby, doesn't know what to do with his hands. Now these frogs will just kind of sit on top of their heads doing absolutely nothing. These animals use camouflage to kind of blend themselves into their environments. You'll see that Hoagie's more of a green color and Lucy's more of that brown color to kind of match either the wood or the leaves of the plant. They kind of just change their color depending on temperatures, humidity, just a bunch of different kinds of things. It doesn't really mean that they're different frogs based on their color, it's just that they have different kind of how they feel at that moment. It'd be like if you could just change the color of your shirt at random, it'd be pretty cool. Now, these frogs are really good at holding on to the branches, onto the leaves, and onto the bark because they have sticky toe pads on their feet that allow them to grab onto our hair. Now, I'm gonna steal them off your heads in just a second. Do not worry, the hair gel is free, so you can keep that without anything else. There we go. Steal this guy off. Hoagie didn't even move at all. There we go. Awesome. You guys wanna hold them in your hands to get nice and close to the camera? I'll put Lucy in your hand. There we go. I'll put Hoagie in yours. Very nice.
So these guys like domestic and grow anywhere, or what?
All reptiles, amphibians in the pet trade are not registered as domestic animals. So whenever you see exotics in things like state laws and things like that, that lumps in even stuff like this. So whenever laws are passed about different kinds of exotics, we always want to make sure that the language is a little bit more understandable for, hey, this isn't going to be a dangerous one. But they're not domestic. These are animals that have been raised in captivity though. So they're used to being around people. So they're very used to handling it. You can see Lucy's climbing all over. Hoagie likes to kind of walk on people's arms too. So they're used to being around people. Even if these frogs did want to bite, they don't have teeth. So it'd be like if grandma started gumming your arm. It'd feel weird and you'd ask them to stop, but it's not going to hurt you at all. Awesome. Did you want to try holding them?
No, that's okay.
Oh, come on. It doesn't get any less scary from here. In fact, it gets much scarier.
I like the hands. Of,
they got little sticky fingers. There we go. Awesome. Hold on.
Hey,
I got you. You don't want to squeeze.
Where are you going?
He'll just crawl around. There we are. Very nice.
Look at that.
See, is it so bad?
Nope.
Oh. All right. Next, we'll put the giant snake on him.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. messing with you.
Snakes.
All right, so what we're gonna do next, we're gonna amp up the scary factor. A lot of people think this next animal is absolutely terrifying. Meg's gonna talk about this one because it's her animal. It's what's known as an arachnid. Arachnids aren't reptiles just like amphibians aren't, but they're a way different kind of animal. You take it away, Meg.
Yes, so we are bringing out another animal that will go right into your guys' hands and use a certain way to stick and hold on to you just like the frogs. Matter in fact, this guy is just like the frogs in size, shape, the feeling of the feet, everything, except for he's a little fuzzy. So let's go ahead and we shall meet Teddy today. So this is Teddy. Teddy is my curly hair tarantula. This guy is from Central America. He's in places like Costa Rica as well as Nicaragua. And he's actually a sweetheart. So if you want to, you can go ahead and just put both hands completely flat next to each other. As flat as you can make them.
Flat like a pancake, flat like a bowl.
There you go. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let Teddy walk off of me, but he's gonna go very, very slow.
Wait, does it bite?
He will not bite you, I promise. He's just gonna slowly get off of me. He's like, Mom, wait, I wanna stay in your hands. He says, Mom, no, hold me. Now just keep your hands just like that. You can lift him up from the table just a little bit, and you guys can show the camera. So like I said, this is a curly hair tarantula. Boys, if you look very closely, you can see instead of his hairs being straight out, they actually curl, making him be super fuzzy, hence his name, Teddy. This guy is eating large crickets at home. It's pretty cool how he eats. He actually injects a certain kind of serum into his victims, which causes them to be like a milkshake or a smoothie, believe it or not. You guys like milkshakes and smoothies, huh? Mm-hmm. Okay, well imagine a cricket smoothie.
Delicious.
Would you drink that? That's his favorite thing to drink.
It's
High
got
in
great
protein. Calcium and protein, that's all you need. But Teddy's super chill. He's a sweet guy, and see, he's not much different from those frogs. He's actually more still than the two tree frogs were. Do you want to hold him as well?
Sure.
Okay, what I'm
Might
gonna
as well.
do is hand him back off to me.
I like this one.
Yeah, he's pretty cool, huh? Not as scary as you would think a spider would be. Come over the table. Perfect. And we're gonna just let him get off.
Representative, you got any questions about this guy?
No.
No? You just
So,
cautiously
yeah.
watching from a distance?
Did
There you
it
go.
approve to come from Costa Rica?
Huh?
I said, did it approve that it was coming from Costa Rica?
You know, he probably didn't want to
Uh-oh.
leave
Why
that
is there water?
Uh-oh.
Did he
Uh-oh.
pee?
Oh, he might
Yay!
have pooped on you.
Look it.
That means he's comfy with you.
Yes, he feels comfortable.
He feels comfortable to
He
let it
peed
rip.
on you.
Why does it have a bald spot here?
So that bald spot is actually because tarantulas have hairs that they flick off the back of them, and that is their first defense mechanism. When they are nervous and something's trying to bite at them or grab them, they'll flick those hair in the animal's face or say on our hands, causing a hive irritation to occur so they can sneak away and get away from their prey. So when he came and was transported over, he was inside his box going, I don't want to be in this box, I don't want to be in this box, kicking off a ton of those hairs. But when he molts his exoskeleton, causing it to look like you've got two tarantulas in the tank at once, all that fur is going to come right back and he's going to look like a big fuzzy baby again. He'll be even fuzzier after he molts.
And about how long does that take?
It depends on how much they're eating and how quickly they are growing, if they're getting bigger in size and everything. So it happens every few months, typically for a tarantula to molt, and when they do molt, it happens overnight.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
Yes.
That's cool. You want a bite of it? I don't either. I don't want to even touch it.
You should hold it.
You should
Oh,
hold
I'm
it.
good.
You know what? This is really special. Normally it's the frogs that pee on people. We never have the tarantulas
Look
or
at that.
anything
You
guys are
nervous.
special.
Here, I got something for you over here.
normal?
Meg, if you want, we can bring on our legless friend next while I'm helping him with his hands.
Sounds good. There you go, big boy.
So if you look at our box, the picture, the first word on the list, what's on our shirts, right in our chest pocket area, on the backs of our shirts, we love snakes at these shows. So we didn't just bring one, we actually brought a few with us today. We're gonna get a chance to actually hold some of these. We're gonna bring a real big girl out after that I'm gonna need pretty much everyone's help for, because she's just way too heavy for me to comfortably hang
But
out.
what we're going to start with, we're working our way from smallest to largest. So everybody say hello to Callie. This is Callie, my California king snake. Now guys, what color is my snake?
Tail?
Is she like, she's kind of like a tan, she's kind of yellowy, kind of pinky, kind of purpley. She's not supposed to look like this.
Why not?
Why not? Because she's supposed to look like a zebra. She's supposed to be black and white banded or brown and yellow banded. She is what we call albino. So that means that she lacks all color pigmentation in her skin. Now this is only a 2-year-old. She still has a lot of growing room to do, but if you want, you can open up your hands. You don't have to squeeze her too tight. She's gonna start wrapping herself up around you to figure out how to hold on. Now for even such a small snake, she is pretty strong. She is able to grasp onto you and hold on and not let go. I'm giving her help with some tail there so she can actually get on you. Boop, there you go. And just like that, you got a new fancy bracelet.
Oh, I like this.
Isn't
So
she awesome?
how rare is the albino?
It used to be a lot more rare. But what happens is you get an albino, you get another albino, you can bring an albino to a normal, and you just start getting more and more of that pigment. It's a lack of
Like a
pigment
delusion,
that they have.
dilutes.
So maybe quite a while back, super rare to find one of these. Now you can constantly find albino snakes. While you're holding her, we're gonna actually bring out a new friend for your.
So that snake in your hands is a 2-year-old. This snake in my hands is 1-year-old. This is a baby reticulated python. We're gonna see the big mama snake in a second. She is absolutely massive. But this is about what these snakes are when they're a year old.
We got some snakes for you.
This is what's known as a reticulated python. So reticulated means net-like pattern, which we'll probably be able to see a lot better in the bigger one. But other animals that are called reticulated are things like reticulated giraffe, the thin kind of yellowy or tan areas in between. I'll bring it nice and close to the camera so that we can get a good view of this boy. His name is Mr. Peanut Butter. He's named that because of his beautiful peanut buttery kind of skin color. Normally, they're a lot more brown. A lot of people, when they come to shows or they see our animals, they normally expect us to bring like a big yellow snake,
The yellows.
like our yellow right here. I like to bring some of the ones that have more brown colors like they would have in nature. This guy isn't exactly a natural colored snake. He's what's known as a platinum golden child, but they are more closely to this color in the wild than the big yellow ones that look like a giant emoji. Now here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna have you stand up next to the table. Come on over.
This is a 1-year-old?
This is a 1-year-old. The next one's gonna be 7. So it's gonna be gigantic. There we go. I'm gonna let him slink onto you. There we go.
Oh, he got
Put
ya.
one hand right here. He's gonna tickle your armpit a little bit. There we go. Very nice. Look that way.
So what is he doing when his tongue is going?
Oh, so I get a lot of
He's
questions
blowing
about
kisses.
that. Yeah, some people think it's blowing kisses. Some people say that it's making fun of them, like he's like shaking his tongue at them. What this snake is really doing, this snake is smelling with his tongue. I'll steal him off you. He's being a little bit of a wiggle worm right now. There we go. Now they smell with their tongues. They have what's known as a Jacobson's organ. That organ is very powerful. A lot of animals actually have it that you wouldn't really think have it. Things like cats and horses even have Jacobson's organs in their mouth, but they more so rely on their nose for smelling. People don't have Jacobson's organ, otherwise if you went to a donut shop, you'd see people flicking their tongues around, and that would not be good, especially with all this COVID stuff going on. So, you'll see them flicking their tongue out. It's more directional with their smell. So they can smell when things are, say, more east or west, and they can kind of follow their tongues to that area. Do you want to try?
Sure.
Awesome. I'm going to undo
You
him
wanna
from
hold
my
Callie?
hand.
Yeah.
Believe it or not,
Go.
she's gonna feel strong on you, even though she's a little snake. You can see
This
she's
guy's
got
gonna
my
feel really
fingers.
strong.
She's got my fingers, and she doesn't want to even let go of me. So go ahead and
Go.
just kind of put it through like that. There you go. And then hold on to her on this side. There
Very
you go.
nice.
Perfect.
You got it.
For real. She says, "Oh, I'm gonna come this way."
There we go.
She's like, "You smell nice."
And I'll steal him back, let him wander back over. Do you have a question?
So big.
Yeah, he is pretty big.
Look at her. She says,
We're going to
"Hello."
bounce up pretty big from here.
Yeah.
If you think these animals are big, we haven't even gotten to the big animal yet.
You
Yeah,
gotta,
not
you're
at
gonna
all.
see the big fat
Do
guy
you
run
like
out
her?
of the room, I think.
She's kind of cute for a
So
small
I'm going to
snake,
put
right?
Mr.
She's
Peanut
better
Butter
than the
back.
other one. She's better than the other one?
That
Did
one.
you hear that, Brendan?
Don't say it too loud. Look at that.
We know Kelly's the best.
He's young, so it makes sense.
The Almighty.
There we go.
I like
So,
his eyes.
we're gonna put
I
this
know,
peanut
Bryce,
butter
ready.
away. I'm gonna bring out my big girl. Her name is Nagini. I'm gonna try to put her on the table, but most likely she's gonna wanna go onto my shoulders. Nagini is an adult reticulated python. So like that baby we just saw, Mr. Peanut Butter, it's just that this girl I should say, is a lot bigger.
She's a big girl.
She's 16¼ feet long when fully stretched out. There we go.
It's huge.
She's 95 pounds, and she is not done growing. Let's bring her to the table.
Wait,
There we go.
what snake is it?
It's a reticulated
This is a
python,
reticulated
just like that little baby one that we saw a
It's
second
not
ago.
done growing.
Now, do you see how her colors are more brown and black? This is what they're supposed to look like in the wild. You can see kind of this black fishnet pattern. That's where the reticulated comes from. It's not because they're super ticklish. Now, this is a snake that can eat animals 10 times the size of her head. You can see already she's trying to climb back
Can it
on
eat a
top of
bear?
me. What was that?
Can it eat a bear?
You know what? They can eat bears. They have been found in the wild with sun bears in their stomach. Sun bears are a kind of bear that get the same size as St. Bernard dogs or Rottweilers. So they're not like a black bear or a brown bear, but it's still an impressive sized meal. One of the things they'll eat in the wild are deer, and they'll swallow them, antlers and all. And the reason they're able to do that is because their jaws have super stretchy joints, right here, here, here on the bottom, and then right on the top, which allows them to spread their face to swallow those giant meals. And they'll eat once every couple of weeks to every month or so, well, the snakes that I own, but they can go for even longer if they wanted to. It's just that I don't want to bring hungry snakes to children's shows. That'd be kind of a bad look. Now I'm gonna get her up on my shoulder. There we go. I'm gonna turn her into overalls. La la.
So do these snakes, do they relate to you? Do they know it's you?
So here's the thing with
You're
snakes.
the
Unfortunately,
handler?
snakes are on the lower end of the intelligence totem pole when it comes to reptiles. Snakes don't really differentiate person to person as much as we might think, but they do recognize people as something. So if I were to put her onto you or onto someone else, she would just think that it was the same person pretty much, just a different size. So she trusts people in general, but they don't recognize me over someone else.
Okay.
As long as you handle her
There's
with
no, like,
confidence, she just assumes it's me.
They don't generate a kinship knowing that
No,
it's
we don't high
like
five or
red
anything,
dog,
or like
yeah.
go to bars and sing
Whip you around.
karaoke and stuff. No, she just kind of hangs around on top
Probably
of
win
me.
the contest with that around your neck.
She's a horrible singer. I'm not going to win any karaoke contest with her.
So Brandon, we were just talking about how big is she and how long is she gonna get?
So that's a really good question. She's 16¼ feet long right now, and she is going to get anywhere from 22 to 28 feet when she's full grown. And she is about 95 pounds right now. She will easily get over 200 pounds when she reaches that crazy size. But that's not even the world's biggest snake. The biggest snake on Earth is the green anaconda. They don't get longer than reticulated pythons, but they have been cracking in at weights at 500 to 600 pounds. So that is a big,
So she
big
is the
snake.
longest snake, but the green anaconda comes in at the heaviest snake.
Yes. I will say they're not too much longer. The longest one ever found was 32½ feet. The longest green anaconda was 30 feet. So it's only about 2 feet in the grand scheme. But to put that in perspective, a 32½ foot long snake is twice the length of this snake that's on me right now. So that was a monstrous snake. I would have to do a lot more sit-ups, crunches, and squats to hold that snake.
Where do they originate, these?
So these aren't going to be found around Rosemont, so don't worry. This
One
snake,
here right now.
Yeah, this snake is from Southeast Asia. You'll find them in areas like Vietnam and Thailand and Singapore and stuff like that, even Southeast China. They will be in more of the rainforesty areas, hiding on the ground once they get to this size in large piles of leaves. So these are ambush hunters. So what they do is they sit around waiting for food to come to them. They snap it up with their hundreds of fishhook-like teeth, wrap it up with their bodies, and then they will squeeze the chest until it goes and squishes together, basically crushing their prey like a trash compactor, and then swallowing it whole once they know that it's died. Very cool. Some people think that's terrifying, but I like that you said it's cool. All right.
You gotta do something when you don't have limbs
So-
to grab.
Absolutely. So here is what I'm going to kind of do. I'm going to put her, unwrap her, I should say, from my waist. There we go. Awesome, you wanna grab her tail? Oh, there she's going back in the box, there we go. And I'm gonna undo from there. Awesome. Here, you can stretch her out a little bit.
This blood is gonna fall, that's why I was
Oh,
pushing
I got it. There we go.
Hey, big girl.
All right, boys, come on in the middle.
Come on under.
Use your big, strong boy muscles.
There you go.
Here we go. What are you hiding behind? Come on over.
Come on, get in
So
there.
how do you
is so heavy.
identify male, female?
So the way you tell the difference is when they're adults, their size, the females get a lot bigger than the boys when it comes to snakes. But the way that you tell for them when they're young, you have to tell from the inside. The females will have shorter
She has
tails
her own.
though, and the males will have much longer
A little
tails.
heavier than your python?
They're a lot harder to tell when they're young if you don't know what you're looking for. Though.
Just a little.
You guys
Awesome,
are
you guys are doing a great job. Do you want to help out?
No?
Oh, come on.
I'm good.
I'm just
That's
chilling
fine.
over
I'm
here.
good.
She's
Yeah,
wrapped
it's
around me.
fine.
She's good to go.
The only snakeskin belt we'll ever wear.
Exactly.
Now,
look at
what we're gonna do is we're gonna get ready for the other segment. We're gonna have a lot of other really cool animals. We got a couple of really big animals this time. You can see she's coming back to my shoulder. There we go. So we got a lot more cool animals, and we will see in that next one. There we go. Awesome. So we'll say bye to Nagini, and we'll get going into that next couple of really cool animals.